It's surprising to consider that Nvidia started as a PC graphics company. It's now grown to become an AI dominator as the leading player in the industry, facilitating the growth of the effectiveness of artificial intelligence. So in this video, I wanted to take a look at Nvidia's journey from where it started to where it is now, how its product development cycle is fueling growth in effectiveness in AI, and how that's positioned Nvidia as one of the players that's benefited the most from the development of AI.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So Nvidia pioneered accelerated computing to help solve the most challenging computational problems. Of course, the original focus was on PC graphics, but from there, they have expanded to several other large and important computationally intensive fields. And artificial intelligence is just one of those fields. It's just the tip of the iceberg for Nvidia. Nvidia has leveraged its GPU architecture to create platforms for scientific computing, AI, data science, autonomous vehicles, robotics, metaverse, and 3D internet applications. While artificial intelligence is what is fueling Nvidia's growth in revenue and profit and cash flow right now and for the last year and a half, there are segments that are likely to fuel its growth over the next few years. And the next one, it seems, in line is autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles require very much computational intensity, and they benefit from the increase in computational power. You've probably heard publicized Tesla's purchases of Nvidia's GPUs to help facilitate its driverless car technology. Nvidia will benefit from that trend, from that increase in that next industry. So while the growth of artificial intelligence continues this year, probably again next year, and then it'll probably slow down starting in 2026. There will still be significant spending for artificial intelligence, but the rate of growth will likely slow down starting in 2026. And while the rate of growth for artificial intelligence spending slows down in 2026, that could be when spending for autonomous vehicles starts to accelerate, starts to really hit an inflection point. Now, you might be thinking, well, we're never going to have fully driverless cars on our roads. Regulatory confusion will limit the expansion of that industry. And you might be right. But remember, we don't need fully autonomous cars for Nvidia to benefit from some form of driverless car technology, whether it's helping people parallel park or whether there are emergency systems for safety within a vehicle, emergency braking, lane departure assistance, collision avoidance. Several categories can facilitate increased spending on vehicle computational power, which Nvidia will likely benefit from. I haven't even gone into detail on robotics and the metaverse, which are also on the cusp of having significant growth. Tesla, again, to highlight the example, is developing robotics to help with factory tasks that could be automated through robotics. And again, that requires computational power, and accelerated computing will help in the development of that industry. So while Nvidia started out in PC graphics, it's really just branching out into several new fields. And I wouldn't be surprised if 5 years from now, 10 years from now, Nvidia finds even more fields that will benefit from accelerated computing. It's an application that has broad use cases that right now is being highly publicized in large language models and generative AI, but the use cases are broader than that. So Nvidia highlighting that they continue to gather customer demand indications across several product transitions. They have demand visibility for data center products, including their recently announced Blackwell GPU architecture. They have previously increased the supply and capacity purchases with existing suppliers and planned receipts later this year. Taken together, these two sentences are critically important for Nvidia stock investors. In the first sentence, Nvidia is saying that they communicate with their partners, with their buyers, with what they are interested in buying, so that they can understand what demand is like for Nvidia's latest innovative technology. Given the conversations they've had with their buyers, they're then saying that they have increased supply and capacity and purchases with existing suppliers for later this year. So in other words, Nvidia is telling investors, look, we've had conversations with the people that buy our products, and they're not saying how those conversations went, but they're kind of skipping that step and then saying, we increased our capacity and we increased our purchases from our suppliers. So Nvidia, you can infer from that statement, from those two sentences, that given the conversations Nvidia is having from their customers, they've gone ahead and increased their orders so that they can increase their manufacturing capacity, so that they can increase their supply to fulfill what seems like, what we can infer as very strong demand from its customers. In other reports, Nvidia management has reiterated that demand exceeds supply, and we'll see that a little bit later in this paragraph here. Now, the company also saying, look, don't get ahead of yourselves here. We might incur inventory impairments if our inventory supply or capacity commitments exceed demand for our products if demand declines. So further down the paragraph, Nvidia is saying, look, as of right now, what we're seeing is robust demand for our products. So we're ordering more supply so that we can fulfill this demand. But if there should be a sudden change, if we should get stuck with this supply that people do not want to buy, it's going to hurt us because we're going to have to take impairment charges. In other words, discount what we have on hand so that we can sell them, because we're going to be caught off guard by having all of this extra product precisely at a moment when our customers do not want to buy them. So, company also saying while supply for H100 continues to improve, they're still constrained on the next generation H200. Their next generation data center architecture Blackwell is in production, and they plan on shipping samples in the second quarter and fully ramping customer shipments of Blackwell in the second half of this fiscal year. They believe the initial demand for Blackwell is well ahead of their supply, and they expect supply constraints for Blackwell offerings will continue into next year. In other words, they have excess demand for this year for Blackwell technology. Demand is well in excess of supply, and given the conversations they're having, they expect this to continue into next year. So not only is demand ahead of supply, but it's likely going to continue that way well into next year. And in this way, Nvidia has gone from a PC graphics gaming supporter to now a dominant AI business. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.